The AMC squeeze. This is something that everybody in the community has been waiting for. We've been looking for clues, anything that's suggesting, are we moving still in that direction? And every day we seem to get new details that suggest that we're even more likely, not less, more likely to actually have this stuff move forward. New rules, regulations, investigations, all of this kinds of stuff. But until we actually see some punishment going through, it's all just kind of fluff, right? So we got some interesting things to talk about today. You guys are not going to want to miss this, and I'll try and make it a very short, concise, to the point video. As you guys can see right now, this is one of the things I want to talk about. This page isn't loading. What is this page? Well, this is stockgrid.io, which is what I've been referencing. A lot of people have referenced before, which tracks the data for the dark pools. I've tried refreshing this several times now before I've started recording this video, and it's just not loading. So is it that the website is just maybe having issues from an API standpoint? There's something going on technical wise. I don't know. Is it them trying to hide things and so they're crashing the whole website and not allowing stuff to be public for today? I don't know. It could be either or. I'm going to lean more towards it's probably a small technical difficulty, but with everything else that we've been seeing it going on, would it really surprise you guys that they would go out of their way to try and make even more data be hidden today of what took place in the dark pool? Not for me. So yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. If you guess by my name, I also talk about cryptocurrency on the channel, but I do a lot of videos on AMC pretty much every day, and I really do support this movement. I own AMC movie theater stock. There's a fly in my face twice. Get out of here. And yeah, don't forget, you can also hit that thumbs up like button. It definitely helps us out with the YouTube search algorithm. And feel free to share this video on social media if you think other people would find it to be helpful. Please keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research, and I highly encourage you guys to do your own research as well. So in short, we can actually see for the day, AMC closed up 4.82%, closing up above this key level support, which I've identified at $32.22. That's my key level metric right there. And we can see that there were days where it's just kind of bouncing back and forth. It's trying to make up its mind. Overall, you can actually see volume is still quite low. For today, 71.12 million. And the average, 75.86. So even with everything having been so mediocre and low, this is even below that, right? So we had previously around 150 million, actually more back around here. We had around 150 million shares being reported on the daily positions. These ones actually, I'm pretty sure, would have exceeded that because that would have dropped down low here and then averaged out a little bit more across that time, right? So right now, things are still looking very bullish. There's a lot of good news coming out, a lot of institutions that are buying shares, they're extending their positions. It's absolutely insane what's going on. The RSI is still below the median range zone, so it's got even plenty of range just climbing up from there. I would still consider us as being oversold when you look at where the previous high was and all the positions of where we're at right now, and then all the amount of activity, which we've been seeing on average over 60% of shares occurring across the dark pool. Keep that in mind. 6 out of every 10 shares is not occurring on the light pool, which is, or the light market, which is where you and I traditionally trade. You know, you've got your Fidelity, your Robinhood, your Webull. You got those kinds of exchanges. Those are the light pool. What's also interesting is that there's information coming out like over here from Ortex where they say new intraday stock borrows in AMC significantly exceed returns with a net increase of 5.15 million shares on loan so far today. The estimated short interest is 19.2% of the free float. This is very high. I don't recall actually Ortex reporting for AMC stock this high. I've been seeing, like 14%, 13%. I think maybe I saw 16%. I can't recall it being at 19.2%. Maybe you guys recall it differently, but for Ortex to be reporting this at almost 20% of the free float it's insane. So that's what this is saying, is that out of 10 shares, right? So if you got, or let's say 100 shares. So out of 100 shares, 20 or almost 1/5 of all of those shares are actually being borrowed off of, and they're saying like, hey, I think it's going to go down. So we own 80% of the float. There's 19.2% of the free float. So that's 99.2%. You telling me that the institutions, which own these large amounts that just purchase everything, that they're only getting like 0.8%? Yeah, I think stuff's not really adding up very much, guys. Plus, with the short positions they can overextend those. That's a whole other issue for that stuff. But anyways, so if we look at this, 5.15 million shares on loan today, this is kind of weird to me because when we look over here, the available shares to borrow, according to the AMC Stonko tracker, which a lot of people have been using this resource, suggests that there's 300,000 shares available to borrow. This hasn't been changing recently. Still, over 3 million ETF shares available to borrow. Where is Ortex pulling their information from? An increase of 5.15 million shares on loan? I don't know, but it doesn't match up with this. Something seems really funky here. Call options for this Friday, 176,000 that are currently out of the money. Keep an eye on that. 62% on the dark pool, as you guys can see here. Still following in tandem with what I was saying, above 60%. And then just moving on, AMC is going to be added to the MSCI Equity Index on August 31st, so towards the end of this month. We could expect some buying by big investors then. I'm really looking forward to this month, guys. The very end of this month is going to be the most exciting time because there's a lot of stuff rolling out, and we're going to see how that plays out, hopefully for the good. And then in addition to that, Wisconsin, Florida, Texas, New York, Arizona, and New Jersey, so that's 6 different states. Retirement and pension funds, normally they're conservative, loaded up on AMC. Think some government officials have some inside info? I mean, maybe. We were seeing that there was some talk about Nancy Pelosi's husband, I guess, had been back in, what was it, July or something? He did like a massive investment into AMC stock himself too. Margin call NSCC increased margin requirements by 25 times. Big shout out to Charlie here. He did post his own video talking about this as well. And so the summary for this is it's all coming together. NSCC increases margin requirements for all members by 25 times, from $10,000 to $250,000, approved on accelerated basis. Simulated liquidations are taking place. They're doing these liquidation simulations because they want to make sure that everything's going to be working out, or that it's more than likely going to be working out. We've been seeing new updates with this potential policy rollout so that the major hedge funds, basically what they would be doing is getting provided cash to pay off their margin debts. In exchange, they're providing their shares that they quote unquote own over to the other organization, and that way then it's not being flooded as a dump onto the market by having to sell all of those positions. But what's great about with this new position, or this new calling right here, is that from $10,000 to $250,000 change increase. So look at this. Based on its regular reviews, NSCC states it has found that members with required fund deposits below $250,000 disproportionately experience repeat backtesting deficiencies because should the member's settlement activity abruptly increase, the additional exposure to NSCC would not be mitigated until the collection of the required fund deposit either intraday or on the next business day. NSCC states it has also found that its current minimum margin requirement of $10,000 is disproportionately lower than the minimum margin requirements of other CCPs that clear similar securities products. Therefore, NSCC proposes to increase its minimum required fund deposit from $10,000 to $250,000. So we're more likely to see a bunch of people getting liquidated from something like this being pushed through. These forced share recalls, by the way, is something that the broker companies can actually decide to do and a call on, but they haven't been doing it. Why haven't they been doing it? That's a great question, because with so much evidence that's suggesting and pointing towards the direction of synthetic shares and naked shorts, it would only be logical with overextended marginalized positions. That's also going to affect any kind of an impact on the activity that's occurring on the broker themselves. So now they're damaging themselves by allowing this to continue on for so long. And I almost feel like everything is getting into this massive black hole of problems where everything's just going to plop itself on top of one another, and it's going to be crazy. If this stuff actually pushes through like this stuff is going to be absolutely crazy, guys. And then we got August 24th. Keep an eye on that. So that's the proposal for the NSCC 2021-010. And it's going to be filed on the 23rd. Its effective date is suggested to be on the 24th. As far as for what we're talking about with this filing report right here, it is an accelerated state right now, so we might see it anytime between now and within 30 days. So again, towards the end of the month. And I'm going to go and wrap up the video there. So if you guys are new to the channel, I got referral links in the description. You can earn free cryptocurrencies or free stocks or both. Feel free to check those out. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button, and feel free to share the video. Let us know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this new rule? I think it is absolutely awesome. I love to see this. I want to see it be actually enforced. That's the biggest thing. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Look, it's still not loading.